day 30. So if you're new to this series, if you're just now tuning in, for the last 30 days, I've been doing an experiment of essentially like what would happen if I deadlifted a barbell every day. And by doing so, I'm not going like super light and just, there were certain days of that, but it's like what happens, what would happen if I deadlift every single day and even deadlift heavy every single day? Would I be able to recover from day to day? There were several reasons for me going into this experiment. Number one was I really hadn't done anything intentional with the barbell in probably about a year. So if you're new to, if you're following this journey of mine, or even just new to my material, back in 2013, I absolutely sucked at barbell deadlifting. I was a quote-unquote kettlebell guy, got really strong, really good at doing that. Just got really good at doing that and coaching it. And then Strong First released their first ever barbell certification called the SFL. This was back in 2013. And I was like, man, okay, so what are the requirements? And one of the requirements was, you've got to be able to deadlift double body weight. And so at this time, I'm about 200-ish pounds. And I was like, okay, well, I got to deadlift 405. And I've never really deadlifted ever up until this point. And when I say deadlift, I'm not counting like kettlebell deadlifting the kettlebell, right? But I've never deadlifted a barbell. So I went to a buddy of mine's gym here in town, and he had barbell stuff, and I tested out, and I worked my way up to what was a pretty much near maximum, and it was 350. And I was like, holy crap, how am I going to add 55 pounds to my deadlift in 30 days? The cert was 30 days away. So I'll put the first episode in the notes. You can check out that first episode. I'm not going to spend too much time breaking down all the reasons why, because I want to kind of get into today's episode. But I covered all in day one, and even a couple of other episodes after that. But essentially, I hadn't done anything intentional with the barbell deadlift. The last time the last time I maxed out was back in April 2018, and I pulled 290 kilos was my best. So I went from sucking at deadlifting to getting really good at deadlifting. And then as my deadlift began to grow in leaps and bounds, I was like, wow, okay, I'm just going to keep going with this until I reach my genetic potential. Right? I don't want to have to start wearing a belt, wrapping up my knees, or wearing a suit, or, basically training like a power lifter. And honestly, I didn't even want to use straps. And you've noticed that I've been using straps the last couple of sessions, and I'm going to kind of touch on that here. But one of the reasons why I ventured into trying to test out straps was I noticed that I was, with the double overhand grip, I got into a much better position. My wedge was better. I was able to keep my lats more engaged. And also, it's not going to create those asymmetries, right? So when you've got one hand pronated, one hand supinated, you got to make sure that you're very diligent about switching grips. That way you're not overdeveloping your lats on one side. And so, and also some people that lack the skill, they'll start to spiral out of the pull because they can't keep their lat connected with that supinated grip. And so, that was kind of my reason to venturing into the straps. I noticed I get a much better position double overhand. I know I can't deadlift as heavy as I can double overhand, so I'm kind of experimenting and trying to learn the hook grip, which is like learning an entirely new language. It's going to take some conditioning of my thumbs and whatnot, but so I'm in the meantime, as I build that, I'm going to switch to using the straps. And so that's my whole intention there with the straps. But my best is 290 kilos, so 639. This was early April of 2019, and I'm like, well, you know what? I want to see if I can hit 700. How far can I go with this before I would have to start shifting to training like a power lifter? And so I pulled 639 without a belt. And there was juice in there for like another 5, maybe 10 pounds. And so after that, had a few personal things kind of come up and kind of derailed my progress. I didn't quite get to 320 kilos. 705 is my target. And when I came back in 2019, starting getting after the barbell deadlift again, and just really haven't been able to make it back. And then of course, the pandemic hit, and I was just focusing on my kettlebell work, which is stuff that I could do from home. And so anyway, back on the deadlift. So I was like, you know what? It's started 2021, new start, right? New year, new start, all that jazz that comes along with the new year. I was like, I'm going to focus. My goal, my focus is going to be the barbell deadlift and get to 320 like I initially planned out. And so that's what this 30-day deadlift session was all about. 30 days of deadlifting was all about, to see, is it possible? Is it possible to deadlift every day without burning out, without, because the deadlift is the most demanding exercise there is, right? It is uncontested, right? No muscle is unturned. It is the ultimate test of total body strength. It's also the most functional exercise, and yes, even more functional than the squat. It's a task that you'll have to negotiate every day for the rest of your life. I mentioned this in a past episode, right? Every day for the rest of your life, you're going to have to pick things up off the ground. Doesn't always have to be a barbell deadlift, but every day you'll have to pick things up without hurting your back, right? This could be doing yard work, playing with your kids, everything, right? So there's this, but if you can get strong with a barbell deadlift, how much easier will those tasks be? Right? So this is a task you'll have to negotiate every single day. And what I love about the barbell deadlift is it's me and the barbell. That's it. I'm either going to lift it or I'm not. Right? I have to manage my emotions. The barbell doesn't care if I can lift it or not. It doesn't care if I got sleep the night before. It doesn't care. It doesn't care about any of that stuff. Right? And that's a metaphor for life. Right? So compared to the squat and the bench press, where the weight's already preloaded, right? You just got to get underneath the bar and lift off and go for it, right? The deadlift, you can either pick it up or it's a no-go, right? It's another reason why I love kettlebells. Kettlebell training is all about moving the weight from the ground to overhead, right? Which is why it's a distant cousin to the Olympic lifts, right? If you can't pick it up, you're not going to press it. You're not going to be able to squat it. You're not going to be able to jerk it. And there's even times when I use, like in some protocols, like the Kettlebell Elite from Double Kettlebell Manifesto. I'll put a link in the description if you want to pick up a copy of that. And one of the safety mechanisms built in is you got to snatch the bells overhead. And if you can't snatch them overhead, you can't do your presses or whatever we have scheduled, right? So just many reasons why I love the barbell deadlift. But here we are with straps, 515, boom. A fast 515. So the straps, gearing up here, I think 535 is my next lift. Straps kind of feels like cheating. I'm going to be straight up honest with you. Kind of feels like cheating. Like the position I'm able to get in is ridiculous, which is why I'm going to have to really dial in and learn that hook grip. Also, using the straps, you don't build your calluses. And I'm a big fan of building calluses. To me, calluses represent life's kick to the balls, right? It's the tempering of your body, right? They represent adaptation, right? They represent moving forward. So I don't like that I'm not building my calluses. I can get that from kettlebells, but that's what I love about the barbell, man. It really builds those hands. And you don't get to use a lot of chalk. You don't need chalk because you're just going to strap that damn thing to your wrists, and it ain't going anywhere. And I like to use a lot of chalk. It's just, you can never have enough chalk. But I'm gearing up here for 535. Now, obviously I'm not going for an all-time, personal best today. That's, 290 kilos all-time personal best. But when I started this, I just estimate, because I hadn't done anything intentional with the barbell deadlift, my estimated max going in was 230 kilos, so 507, 505-ish. I knew I could kind of pull that. It would probably be like a 9.5 RPE. And so I just kind of based my numbers off of that. And here we are. First big pull, 535. Again, man, those straps, it feels like cheating, man. 243 kilos, 535. Let's see how it turns out. A little bit of a grinder. I'm not going to lie. I was like, man, okay, that was pretty good. I nailed it. 555. Should I go for 555 or should I just call it a day? Well, hell. Let's see what deadlifting every single day for 30 days can create. So I was like, you know what? Screw it. Let's do it. Let's go for 555. And let's load it up. So is it possible to deadlift every single day for 30 straight days, right? I mean, again, the deadlift is the most demanding. It taxes your nervous system more than anything else. So I was just really curious. I knew this was obviously going to challenge my body physically, but like I mentioned, more so mentally. I'm going to have to manage my emotions. There were days when I did not feel like pulling. There were days when I would have to finish with a conventional, as a drop set, just because my hips were just really sore. My hip flexors were getting sore. I wasn't in any pain. My back is great. Everything feels great. But just feeling a little sore. Here we go. 252 kilos, 555 with the cheat straps. Here we go. Can I get into that position? Can I get the weights to break? There they go. They broke. And a grinder. Hold that stuff. Hold it. 555, guys. 9% increase in 30 days. That is a plus 23 kilo increase in 30 days. You tell me what other plan, protocol, etc., can add 23 kilos to your deadlift in 30 days. I don't know if there's one out there. So I've logged and I've tracked every single thing that I've done, every single lift that I've done for documentation. I don't know. Maybe I'll turn this into a program. I don't know. But here's the thing. 30 days of deadlifting is not something that you try. It's something you got to commit to. Deadlifting every day for 30 days. Can you lift a barbell every day for 30 days? I don't know. You got to think about your schedule. You got to think about what's your lifestyle. Me, keep in mind, I have I think we all have complete control over our schedule, but I get to set my times and my schedule. I work for myself. I have a gym. So these are all things that you kind of, things to take into account. But honestly, if you've got a goal, if you've got a desire, you'll make it happen. You'll figure it out. Having a gym, owning a gym is not going to be, something in your way. If you've got a desire, you've got a goal, you'll be able to attain that. But leading up to this max, man, leading up to a max is very strategic. It's not something that you just, people do this. I'm just going to go to the gym and I'm going to lift every day and I'm going to try to max. No, every weight needs to be planned out. So once I shifted to the variable overload method after the first week, because the first week I overtrained and got really sick for a whole day, I had to make some adjustments, right? And that's when I switched to the variable overload method. And I'm getting ready to go here, a little drop set. Boom. I had to shift to the variable overload method, which is basically varying the volume, the intensity every single day. One of the huge benefits of the variable overload method is you're always using the heavy weights every single day. So every day I was lifting anywhere between 60% and 92.5% weights every single day. And I made that shift 7 days into the cycle. I made that shift 7 days in. And it's a lot of the footage that you're seeing today, which led to my, which led to today's 555 pull. I'm actually 7 days into the next cycle, and I've got planned out at 500 lifts. That is like ridiculous, a number of lifts. And again, I'm experimenting, so I'm actually going to keep this going. And I'm going to have a series that's just dedicated to Deadlift Daily. The Deadlift Daily series. And I'm going to keep the same approach, 3 days in a row, 1 day of active rest, which is a technical day for me. This will be days where I'm working on the Zercher. These will be days where I'm working on some of my kettlebell skills. These will be days where I'm working on the hook grip. These are going to be my technical days, and then 3 days of deadlifting to close out the week, and then a repeat. Okay? So for this cycle that I've got coming up here, I'm already 7 days in. All this footage here is from I'm already day 7 into the next cycle. 500 lifts. Can I do 500 lifts in a month? By surfing all the weights, all the intensity zones. Out of that 500, I'm going to be allocating 23% of the total volume to the Zercher squat. So I'm going to specifically plan some lifts there. I'm going to be using them as a ramp up and as a drop set, and surfing like that 65 to 80% zone. I'm going to be using its own its own like estimated max for that, because it's nowhere near my barbell max. Yeah, man, Alec, you working that Zercher, 23% of the volume is going to go there. I had another thought. I was going to say something else, and it just kind of like went away. Shoot. I can't remember. It was something around the 500 lifts. Oh, it escapes me. But yeah, so 555, starting with the end in mind, right? As I shifted to that variable overload method, each one of these lifts were planned for. I look back, I was like, okay, here's going to be my max pulls on day 30, and essentially reverse engineered to the beginning of when I made that pivot to the variable overload method, which is how all goals are planned, okay? You got to look at the end in mind, and then from there, reverse engineer, work your way backwards, and then from there, you've got to be adaptable, right? Just like calluses, just like your body. You plan the work, you do the work, you adapt, right? I don't know where I heard this from, but it was plan, do, review, right? Plan, do, review. So, man, I can't believe, what was I going to say? I was going to say something, but now I lost it. It was something around the 7-day cycles. Let's see, lifting 3 straight days in a row, taking a technical day, 3 straight days in a row, 500 number of lifts, 23 are going to the Zercher squat. Damn, I can't remember. Must not have been that important then. That's it, man. MAX1. 30 days of deadlifting. The final result, 9% increase, which is plus 23 kilos in 30 days. So if you want to take your deadlift to the next level, I've got an entire coaching program that we are wrapping up to where I'm going to help you build a bigger and stronger deadlift without training like a powerlifter. I'm going to be opening up the wait list. The coaching program is all ready to go. If you want to learn how to barbell deadlift, even if you're an experienced barbell deadlifter and you want to take your deadlift to the next level, do me a favor. Shoot me an email, hector@strongisheck.com with interested. Subject line, interested. And then in the body of the email, let me know that you're in. From there, I'll add you to the wait list. I'll reach out to you, and we can talk about what it would look like to work together. What to expect from this program. You're going to learn the Zercher. You're going to learn several of the progressions that I use in my own training, but most specifically, the progressions and regressions that I've been taking our coaching students through to add an average of 50 kilos to their deadlift in about a year. And that is not an exaggeration. Just look at my results today. 23 kilo deadlift increase in 30 days. And that's because you're not even going to be deadlifting every single day in the Next Level Deadlift coaching program. So if you're interested in the Next Level Deadlift coaching program, shoot me an email, hector@strongasheck.com. Subject line, interested. Make sure you let me know your name in the body of the email, and I'll reach out to you and see if this would be a good fit for you, right? So, man, I appreciate you watching this series. Appreciate all the comments, the encouragement, all that good jazz. I greatly appreciate it, and I'm going to keep this thing going. We're going to shift this to our daily deadlift series and see what happens. My 100% focus for this year is 320 kilos. 705 is burned into my brain. And I'm going to be tracking and sharing with you everything that I'm going to be doing, and maybe to help you out in your deadlift endeavors. That's all I got, man. Have a great one. Talk to you tomorrow. Peace.